Namaskaram girls. In the last session we saw about the French Indochina, then how the colonies are occupying in South Africa, that and all we saw in the last session. In this session we are going to see in the America. So political developments in South America, there were the Maya, Inca, Aztec. These are the civilization which was followed before the arrival of the Europeans. So Europeans came to our country also, Vasco da Gama, isn't it girls? Like that, before that arrival of the Europeans in America, there were the civilization was followed in the Maya, Inca and Aztec. They were well organized city also. They formed the city, Maya civilization. In that one, the cities are continued from Aztecs from the Mexico in Central America. They were following, the civilization were following. Peru in South America, South America. So Mayapan is a city which was formed by all these people from the Mexico. They are ruling for the 100 years. It was in the 12th century. The other cities, Aztecs from Mexico, which was conquered in the 14th century as a capital as a Tenochtitlan. This is a capital for the Mayapan city. After that 100 years, this Aztecs, they started to rule for 200 years. So first Maya only they were started to rule. Next Aztecs, they started to rule for 200 years. Next, now European colonies are coming and occupying. So in the 16th century, the Aztecs was in the peak. The whole empire was collapsed by the entering of the Spaniards, Herman Coats. Before that, still Aztecs were ruling in the proper manner. So European is coming and interfering in South America. So after that, Mexican civilization was collapsed, but the great city Tenochtitlan, this was become a popular, and another man, Francisco Pizarro, he also belonged to the Spaniards, and he also conquered the whole empire Inca. So they are taken under their domination. Peru, they made under their domination. There were the bloody conflicts. Conflicts means fighting with the arguments like that. Okay, between the Haitian people. Haitian people, they are the slave people. Along with that, colonies people from the British and French. So they were taking under the control. So the struggle was headed by the Toccian. He was the leader to get the people's freedoms of the Haitian people. So Haitian is a slave people. So they are trying to eradicate this one by the head of the Toccian. This is about the European colonization, how they are coming and occupying. Later, by the end of the 18th century, they started to political freedom, the Haitian people. So they are started at last in 1791 to 1804. This conflict becomes end. The people becomes free from the control of the France, who has become free girls. Haitian people free from the France control and also slave position also. This is about the European colonization and its impact. Next, impact of Napoleonic invasion of Spain and Portugal. So the American and French Revolution that made inspiration for the Latin American people to want to liberate themselves. So the Napoleonic invasion of Spain and Portugal in 1808. They want to get the liberals. So the struggle is taken in the South America. they got the spirit to get the independence under the leadership of Simon Bolivar. So he was taken to make freedom for the Latin American peoples. So in the case of Brazil, the Portuguese, that is the colonies only, they are all colonies only. The Portuguese, they captured the Portugal by the Napoleon. He has come from the Lisbon and from the colony to independence nation. And Pedro I, he made the independence of Brazil, and all they have make as a independent. Next, Monroe Doctrine. Monroe Doctrine in 1815, Napoleon came, I told Noggles. In that one, he was very serious to capture all the places. But Monroe, the President of USA, he told that any colony people interfere in America, we will wage a war. This makes a threat for the European people. So automatically in 1830, the South of America was free from the European dominations. So they became free. Because of the Monroe Doctrine that echoed for the Europeans. So this is a Monroe Doctrine. Next, disunity among the Latin American. So already their peoples are not a unity. Still now they were unity. Now it becomes a disunity. So they want to the Latin American want to have not under the control of the Spain and Portugal. But what they have done in 1821, Central America ceded from Mexico. In 1839, Central America was split into 5, that is republics: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua. These are the Central Americans split into 5, and it makes a republic. In 1828, Uruguay splits from the Brazil. In 1830, Venezuela and Ecuador split from the Great Colombia Republic, which was created by the Bolivar. Bolivar, that first man, who is that girl, to want to make a free for the Haitian people, isn't it, girls? Bolivar, to make a freedom, to get a freedom from. So Bolivar is a very important person. Next, when you come for the US imperial interest, slowly in the 12th century becomes coming down. They occupied Cuba and Puerto Rico. These two places make under the control of the that is Spanish people. In that one they have Spanish people defeated in 1898. So from 1898 to 1902, Cuba was under the military control. So when the Americans, that is, they want to set a naval station in Cuba, so that Roosevelt made an arrangements for that. Just the doctrine which was given by the Monroe, just some alter was done by the Roosevelt. So in the 20th century, these are all happening there. Okay, girls. So they got a political, economic wise, some changes has happened in the US imperial interest. Next, when you come for the Great Depression in South America, this is depression is affected in South America also. At that time, oligarchy people were ruling. Oligarchy, you might have come across in the 9th standard. The group of people ruling particular region. So this region is that is affected by the depression. What they are expecting to make a group. So this in Mexico, the violent was there. Oligarchy, middle class intellectuals among themselves, they had clashes. So these are the many groups started to fight among themselves, so that they have conducted the election with a ballot box. Now we are having the ballot box now, girls. We are pressing for the election time and all. The people going and casting their vote by pressing the buttons. That is a ballot box. Okay, girls. The election, through the elections, the ballot box, they have elected their leader. So Latin American was protested by the American intervention, and they don't like the dollar imperialism. Dollar imperialism in the sense that is they are dominating that particular place with giving them money. So if I am taking your class as a control of I will give the economic aid, economic help. That is called as a dollar imperialism. And this is the one USA policy. So in 1933, Franklin Roosevelt, he has a good neighbor policy, agreed with the other countries' affairs in the state or inside their country, in the Latin American itself. Okay, girls, that's all about this lesson, girls. Next, we will move on to the next lesson. Okay, girls. Thank you, girls.